Good morning. Ooh, it is like so bright in here today. Good morning. Good morning, Chairman. Sorry about that. We got a new setup, so it should work better, but it's still not exactly where it should be. I've whipped out the fall decor, y'all. I'm very excited. Fall is going to be here soon. I'm not going to be as hot anymore. Yay. Yay. One thing I want to do today that I hadn't done in the past and is very important, so I need to do that, is thank my members. All right, so I have a lot of subscribers now. Hey, Nene. I have quite a few subscribers, almost 19,000. It's very exciting. So thank y'all. Thank you all. Thank y'all for that. I want to thank Brecca, Theon, Jacob, Tavonda, and Miss Riri, because those are my 5 members right now. So thank you for being members of our channel. We appreciate you so much. You are literally what is keeping this channel alive. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to join the membership, I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so we were relatively light on trials this week. Hold on, where was I going? Hold on, I had a thought. So last week we talked about the Alexee Trevizo. I want to talk to you more about that. That is the young lady from New Mexico who went to the hospital because her hips and her back and all these things were hurting. She goes into the hospital. She says she has to go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom. Someone walks in. Good morning, Purple Paradox. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. So this Alexee walks into the bathroom, gives birth to a stillborn. She's in the hospital, okay? She gives birth to a stillborn. Instead of putting her head out the door and going, somebody come help me, she proceeds to put the stillborn in a trash can and then tries to clean up all the blood. And they said it was a lot of blood. Now, there's all kinds of video footage from the hospital where they're talking to her after the trash can incident. It's crazy to me because she's like profusely bleeding and they're just sitting there talking to her. It's wild. But anyhow, her defense is trying to get that video axed, not allowed as evidence. I have a real problem with this case. All right, have you guys ever seen that show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant? If you've seen that show or you heard of it, get in the chat. Let me know if you've seen it. Purple says the baby was not a stillborn. According to the doctors in the hospital, it sure was. I think the doctors said it was. All right, so has anyone seen I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant? I think it was on like TLC. I know it was on like 13 years ago because I literally watched it while I was pregnant with my second, and she will be 13 next month. So the thing those women all had in common, really, is that they thought they had to poop, and they go to the bathroom, and out comes a baby. And I'm not gonna lie, it's because of that show that I knew I was in labor with my daughter. It's like, I really feel like I gotta go, but I can't. What is going on? Oh, it's the baby. You know, I knew I was pregnant. Everyone knew I was pregnant. It was very obvious. But this Alexee Trevizo, she is a young girl. She is a thin, young girl. Thin women don't start to show. Do you guys remember Kate Hudson when she had her first baby? It was around the time I had my son. It took her like 7 months to even look like she had kind of a pooch. Okay, Purple Paradox said, I had my first child at 16. At 15, I didn't know till I was 5 months. Exactly. So, especially this Alexee Trevizo, she is like an athlete. She's a cheerleader. And you can call cheerleaders what you will, but I watched that Netflix show about those kids down the street doing the cheer thing, and those are athletes. These are athletes. All right, so when you're an athlete like that, first, when you're a real thin young girl and you're athletic and you have very little body fat, you hardly ever get a period. I had a friend who was like a top level gymnast, and she had never had a period, and then she was like 14 or 15, and they went on a 2-week vacation, her and her family. And she got her period during the vacation because it was the first time where she had 2 weeks where she wasn't constantly doing gymnastics, running her metabolism, jumping around, right? So we can assume that this little girl is kind of on that wavelength. And I could see then that you might not know you're pregnant. What I cannot see, and I do not understand, I mean, she's a child, so maybe my children wouldn't do this because, you know, they grew up with a lawyer in their house, so they're very paranoid. But she's a child, so instead of when she gives birth calling for help, like, holy crap, a baby just came out of me, she tries to hide it. And I feel like if she had called for help, there would be no charges. But since she tried to hide it, now she might go to jail. And I don't love that either. Like, I take issue with our system where idiot kids do idiot kid stuff and then they have to go to prison for life. Like that little 14-year-old girl who killed her mom. Yeah, that was messed up, right? But she's a 14-year-old child. Why should she have to go to life? Like, teenagers are so effing stupid. And if you don't remember how stupid you were when you were a teenager, go ahead and reflect. Maybe call your mom. Okay, but teenagers are stupid. I don't know. See? Purple Paradox said, see, I don't understand, Purple Paradox, why you think she knew. Why the onus is on her. You had no idea. You know, you're a kid. She's in the same boat. She probably didn't know. Now, when it came out, she should have asked for help. But should she go to prison because she didn't ask for help? I don't think so. I don't know. If the baby had come out alive, they would have heard it yelling or something in the trash can. So she didn't kill it. It was stillborn. She just hid it. And why shouldn't she enjoy her prom? Purple Paradox, I don't understand where you're going with this. If I had this terrible misfortune of having a stillborn, I feel that it would be okay for me to try to go to a party or something a while later and try to kind of, you know, have a normal life after. It's a very hard, rough thing. So I don't understand your correlation there. I just don't. And I think we are not going to agree on this one. Like, I don't know that that child did that. We'll see in the court. We'll see in court. But you're adding a lot of presumptions, and you're forgetting she's a child. An actual child. Not a child like Melly. But why, Purple? Why does she deserve some kind of punishment? I don't understand. Like, what is your... Why? She didn't kill the baby. It came out of her deceased. Should you go to jail if you birth a stillborn? I don't think so. Let's chill. Let's chill, okay? Let's chill on those ideas. Let's chill on those ideas. It's like what's happening in the U.S. right now with the freedom of speech, okay? People are getting fired because they're freely speaking, and they're getting this because they're freely... Let's chill on that shit, all right? Let's not live in a totalitarian, monarchy, whatever kind of terrible ass shit we fought against 250 years ago. Let's chill. And let's let other people have rights. And let's let other people live their lives. Chill. All right, chill. Let's remember children are children. I know when they're 15, they're out here dressing like they're 30, trying to look still a child. Okay? when your 5-year-old does something wrong, he doesn't go to jail. Why would you want to institutionalize a human being because they did something wrong? That's ridiculous. Purple, chill. Take a few breaths. Think about what you're saying, okay? Like, truly think about what you're saying. If she's going to go to jail for this, so too should be the man that impregnated her. He should go to jail too. It's his motherfucking baby. So no, we're not going to do that. Chill on that shit, Purple, and start opening your mind and start thinking these things through, okay? No. And let's hold the dad accountable too, okay? If we're going to hold this girl accountable for birthing a stillborn, let's hold him accountable for putting sperm in her that came out stillborn, okay? Stop it with that shit. Stop. Not here today. No, ma'am. And what we're not going to do is impede people's right to freely speak. So while I am happy that you're expressing your ideas here, I wholeheartedly disagree with them, and I fully hope you go make an analysis. Quit, everyone, this is for everyone, quit looking at other people and saying, oh, that's other people. Because when you do that, it will happen to you. It will. What punishment would she be? She's facing jail, Purple. Like, you don't think that she was hiding that because she was afraid of retribution? Come on, get out of here. I'm done. We're done with that. Don't even stop it. I can't. You don't think her parents are gonna ground her for the rest of her life? Come on, dude. She's a kid. Exactly. Thank you, Diddy. Like, it's ridiculous. Okay. So, moving on from her, we're gonna move into some other parents. Now, these ones I think actually did something. Okay. So, hold on, what were these people called? I gotta look this up. Shoot. Haros. Okay, so this couple, all right. So this couple, no, is in California. And the mom claims she went to a supermarket or something, and that someone punched her in the face and stole her baby. So let's watch this together, okay? Hey, Savanda, welcome.
And I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember.
Whoever took our son, please.
I can't hear. Can y'all hear it?
Give him back.
What they said today in court about
hear.
being accused of their son's murder with his body still missing. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris.
There we go. Okay, you can hear it. I can hear it. Okay, so the mom and the dad went in and did pleas of not guilty. But interestingly, the dad at one point took the cops out to where the baby's body would be.
That he had been kidnapped, and Jake was, emotional, kind of looks in the camera and he's like, please, someone bring my son home, something along those lines. And then we see him in court, he's very stoic.
I gotta hear myself.
How would you characterize just how he is to talk to? Like the mannerisms, and who he is when you actually, and I think of not just you, but also detectives who have sat down with him trying to figure out what.
So, Mom does actually have a black eye. Okay. Presumably, she says from being punched.
Could expect.
But as it turns out, Dad has like a whole other family, and in that family, he had been charged with the felony of hurting his child 2 years ago. Also, why would he take them to where he thinks the body is if he doesn't have some idea of where the body is? You see what I'm saying? So the woman says she's at the parking lot, she's changing the baby's diaper, someone walks up, clocks her, and runs off with the baby. First of all, who is stealing babies in this economy? Who is stealing babies in this economy? Secondly, Dad is a known abuser. So your little punched eye, probably from Dad, probably shook the baby. Dad says he knows where the body is. I mean, how you know where the body is if your kid was kidnapped? So I'll be watching these folks. They're out of California, like I said. I want to hope, like, as a woman, that the dad is an abuser. He beat up the mom. He did, I don't want him to have done something, but pretty sure he did something to the baby. And the mom is just a victim. That's what I want to believe, but I don't know. That's a whack story, guys. What I'm going to need people to do is just be better. Just do better. The place where you should start in being better and doing better is at home and with your own children. Okay, you owe an onus to your children. You owe it to them to do better and be better. So let's start working on that, guys. Let's start doing better, be better for our kids, okay? All right. I want to talk about Melly, and then I want to talk about this David guy who I'd never heard of before his Tesla was found with a decomposing child in it. Yucky. All right, so I'm going to talk about Melly first. I don't think on here I've ever... Oh, no, I think one time we've live watched an appeals argument. Typically, an appeals court is made up of like 3 to 5 member judicial panel, okay? And like the Supreme Court, when you go argue in the appeals court, you're making arguments to the judges and they're asking you questions. They want to know, they're asking questions that will help them get to a conclusion. They're asking questions like, how can we, not how can we justify, that's not the question they're asking, but they're asking questions that get to that answer. How can we justify this? So, because of the appeal, I now have a much better understanding of what happened and why. I wish I had like a drawing board. Oh, I do. Okay, all right, so let's do this. I don't know if this is gonna work. You might hate this, but we'll try it. All right. So first, we have 2019. Sorry, guys. The drawing board's not the greatest. Let's do a brush. Okay, 2019. In 2019, we have the unalive. This is terrible. Oh, here we go. I know. Oh, wait. Wait. Let me erase everything, y'all. Can I just do new? There we go. Okay. So, in 2019, Juvie and Sack Chaser are murdered. All right. Now, everyone remembers that Bortland brought the car to the hospital, and that is where the investigation begins, right? Now, as a result of this investigation, a warrant was obtained. Oh my goodness. Y'all, maybe I should just use Microsoft Word. Sorry. Lo siento, amigos. All right, let's see. Let's just... What? Okay. All right, guys. I'm telling you. Add page. Here we go. All right. All right, so here we go. We have 2019. Hello. Juvie and Sack Chaser are killed. All right, so as a result, there is a warrant obtained that goes back to 2 years or something when Melly got the phone. And I think he was 17 when he got the phone, and he was like 19 when this happened. So I think it goes back to 2 years earlier, okay? Then there is a 2023 witness tampering. Okay? Under the 2023 witness tampering, we have Danny Polo, who is a gang expert, allegedly. You remember Danny Polo, y'all? Can I make this bigger for you? I sure can. Okay, so remember, Danny Polo is the guy that had to have the mask on during the trial because he goes undercover and nobody knows who he is and blah, 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 blah. And then Melly's team found him on Cashapp. Got his picture on his wife's Cashapp. And they're like, no, show your face, you a-hole. Okay, so Danny Polo, the gang expert, under this new charge of witness tampering, then gets the info from prior warrant. That is a 4-year-old warrant. He does not get a new warrant for this investigation. Then, as a result of the info found in the old warrant, he uses to prove this case. Okay, he uses information from that old warrant that was gotten by the first detective 4 years prior and does not get a new warrant, does not specify, does not narrowly tailor all of the things that are required, right? And then he uses information obtained from that first warrant to support these charges. And so what the judge did, the trial judge, when he finally went back and reviewed, he says, nah, all the shit you got from that old warrant, Danny Polo, you cannot use. Because you should have gotten a narrowly tailored, new and specific warrant. So that information that is not allowed at trial is not allowed at trial. The appeal was from the government saying, no, we should be allowed to use this information. We should be able to use this information. Okay? So the argument in front of the appeals court is, well, basically we had the information, so we should be allowed to use it. Can anyone understand why this is the craziest shit ever? Yes. Yes, you can. If you've been watching my channel, you know exactly why this is the craziest shit ever. Basically, the state of Florida is asking the judge, asking the court, asking the appeals court to expand warrant systems. So let's give like an example. Let's say Bob is arrested in 2020 for, I don't know, like stealing a candy bar. I don't know. Let's just say, just follow. This is example's sake. Okay, so 2020, he's arrested for theft. They're going to charge him. He goes through whatever, he takes plea, he goes on with his life. Then, in 2024, he's arrested, but this time, let's say, for DUI. Okay? So now he's arrested in 24 for DUI. So let's say now the DUI cops go back to the candy bar theft cops, and they get all of the information and personal data collected under the candy bar warrant, and they try then to use it for the DUI warrant. Y'all could see how that's unconstitutional, right? Like, you could see how that does not pass constitutional muster at all, right? Right. Well, I knew you could, and so did the appeals court. For sure, the appeals court was asking questions of the state Like, how and why would we expand this? How and why would this meet with our 4th, 5th, 6th Amendment rights? How and why? And these were poignant questions. And so I believe if I had been the state's attorney that day, when I left the appeals courtroom, I would have picked up my little magical phone and called my boss, and I would have said, we're not going to be able to use that evidence at trial. We fucked ourselves. Polo fucked us by not going to get a new warrant. That shit ain't coming in. That's my belief. That shit ain't coming in. As it shouldn't. As it should not. Should not come in. You know, recently I had something rejected by a judge and I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? Da-da-da. But then before freaking out about it, I was like, let me go back and check the record. Let me see what's on file. And I saw something and I said, oh, that's probably why. So let me go redo this, fix it, and then go ask the judge again. Fix it. Polo didn't fix it. And now the government is basically asking the appeals court to change the law because their cop was too lazy to go get his own warrant. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fuck out of here. I got a lot of people commenting on my Melly shorts talking about, oh, he's a murderer and da-da-da. Says which jury? And let's cut that bullshit out. People are innocent until proven guilty. And the burden of proof is on the government. Who we should all of us should be concerned about is the government. Okay? All of us. And yes, I have braces. Yes, I can fix minor details in my mouth that I don't like and I can make myself better. Yes, I work to improve myself. If you don't want to listen to someone who's actually working to improve themselves, that's on you, boo. Okay, so let's get into this David thing. The problem is I can't hear shit. I can't hear shit. All right, so apparently this David Singer guy, I've never even heard of him. Never heard of him. But apparently he does a lot of love songs about death. So that's interesting. This young lady, this beautiful young lady, was found decomposing in his Tesla on the side of a road in LA. The Tesla was registered in Houston, Texas.
Tonight, more than a week after a...
And I guess David's from Houston. Who borrowed the Tesla? Whose Tesla? What happened? Okay, here we go.
Body was found inside an impounded Tesla registered to the singer who goes by the stage name David. Los Angeles investigators identifying the remains as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, the same girl who was reported missing last year, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. Police first found the teen's decomposed body on September 8th after being called to a Hollywood tow yard because of a foul odor coming from the Tesla, which was impounded after a person reported the
Okay, so she was reported missing last year.
Car abandoned. Law enforcement sources say the remains were not intact, and according to the medical examiner, it appeared the girl who was...
The remains were not intact. Sorry, guys, I'm having to listen with a delay because I can't hear anything. So somebody dismembered this little girl and then put her in the trunk?
described as having wavy black hair and weighing
71 pounds? Was she held captive? Did someone hold her captive and starve her? Why did she only weigh 71 pounds? Now, mind you, she went missing a year ago, right? I think she went missing from California. Why does it only, what? 71 pounds? Was she held captive? Y'all. What?
about 71 pounds, had been dead inside the Tesla for an extended period of time. The singer David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, rose to fame on TikTok and is currently on tour. A spokesperson for the artist did not respond to NBC News' request for comment today, but last week said the 20-year-old was fully cooperating with the authorities. The LAPD is not calling the death criminal, saying in a statement that at this time, the agency does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death.
So she was 13 when she went missing. I could see a 13-year-old weighing 71 pounds, but like, she's been missing for a year. She's now 15. So she must have just turned 14, like right after she was captured or something. Now see, I'm saying she was captured. Okay, so she's 13. She's in California. She's 13. She's in California. She disappears for a year. Now this David cat, he's 20. So 2 years ago, that would have put, or a year and a half, whatever, if Hippies is right, that would have put him at like 18. Okay, so, but here's my thing. Here's the thing. If that car had been stolen, if the car had been stolen, then it would have been reported as stolen, right? Like, okay, so when you find the car on the side of the road in LA, and you're like, oh, this belongs to David, you call David, like, hey, we found your car. Wouldn't David be like, oh, great, you know, good, let's tell Houston PD because I told, you know, it had a stolen whatever. Oh, how to get to LA? Oh, what? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever that David wouldn't have some sort of knowledge. Now, maybe he's not the one who, I'm going to say, grabbed the little girl, because she's 13, so she can't really consent. She can't consent, right? So let's say someone grabs the little girl and then holds her for a year. How did they get David's Tesla? How did they get his car? Unless they stole his car or he knows them. Okay, what if he knows someone? Maybe it's his like producer or friend or something, and he let them borrow the car, or he just leaves the car in LA. Because, you know, famous people, they have more money than us, right? So maybe I could see a world where David has a car. Well, but it's registered in Houston. Is our car registration is cheaper in Texas, right? Let's see. Because if it's registered, I don't know. Registration cost, California. Oh no, dude, no. $250 and $480. I guess it is way cheaper in Texas. Hold on. Yeah. It's like $50 to register your car in Texas. Okay, so he was on tour a month before the car was found. All right. Okay, well, so I could see he is from Texas, so registering in Texas, it's cheaper to maintain, da-da-da. Okay. You have it in LA, though, because it's like your LA car. Who has his keys? I mean, honestly, to me, this boils down to who has his keys. But where was this girl for a year? Why does she only weigh 71 pounds? I mean, it's California. They do way less than we do in Texas usually. We tend to be a little bit of a chunkier state. It's okay, our men like us thick. Okay, our men like us thick. I don't know. I can't get over that 71 pounds. Missing for a year, only weighing 71 pounds. That sounds like she was kidnapped, right? That sounds like captivity to me. Okay, what about this? Okay, hold on. There's that movie with James Franco where the world ends, and it is hilarious. I forgot what it is. But like all these people just kind of like live in and out of James Franco's house. And I've heard that to be true with like a lot of famous people. They have like friends who will like stay at their house, one of their houses, and that's like their groundskeeper or whatever the fuck, I don't know. So what if David has one of those at his LA home, and that person, because David's out being famous, was keeping her and hiding her, and then waited till David went on tour. Yes, waited till he went on tour because he couldn't take the girl in front of David. So she had to have disappeared. I wonder where David was when she disappeared. I wonder if he was in California or if he was somewhere else. Ooh, this one's kind of a fun mystery. I'm glad I looked into it. So Charles, my beautiful employee who does my video editing, he was like, Lauren, the songs. Apparently, the songs that he writes are like, I guess some of his hits are like allude to that. Belinda's texting me right now. She said there's tons of connections between him and her. You guys, I'm not on TikTok, so I can't go down these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories. So I'm only making them up on my own or hearing them from Belinda because she does TikTok. Okay. Oh, that's right. They both had like on, one of their fingers, SHHH or something tattooed. They had matching tattoos on their fingers. And I guess, Belinda says he told his friends on Discord not to talk. Oh my God, you guys, we got to talk about Discord. First of all, what the fuck is Discord? Is it an app? Is it like Telegram? A group chat? Google says, first thing, what do adults use Discord for? You're going through all the things that a defense lawyer would go through to come to a reasonable... Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'm just an attorney trying to get to a conclusion. That's how our little brains work, our tiny little brains. Okay, so I don't want to get fired or canceled because somebody else took Charlie Kirk's life. But my understanding is the Charlie Kirk guy, the Mormon kid, was also on Discord. Am I wrong, guys? The fuck is going on in Discord? I don't want to download this. It looks weird. I mean, it looks like a place where you play video games together or something. We're too connected, guys. We need to we need to disconnect. No, somebody tell me, what is Discord for? No, Voodoo Child, tell me now, what the hell is Discord for? The kids? I mean, it says. Okay, so everyone's on Discord but me, which means that I won't go to jail and everyone else will. Hair flip. I'm at a loss, y'all. These kids nowadays, they have no problem. Just no problem talking about stuff. Saying lots of thoughts that should be maintained in here come out through here or here. And it doesn't make sense to me. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean it needs to be shared. Crazy. A gamer chat where lots of bad things happen. Okay, I'm gonna stay off of that. I'm gonna stay out of that area. That is, no, I'm good. Not gonna see me on Discord. So weird. I don't know, guys. I finally reached the age. I'll be 44 on Sunday. Happy birthday to me. And I just, at this point, I just like don't care. I'm so over the kids. You remember how old people used to be when we were younger? I'm one of them now. I don't give a shit either. Look at me not caring at all. What is our world coming to? And kids are just getting killed at schools and nobody cares. There's like a mass shooting every day somewhere in the country and nobody gives a fuck. So, yay. A great place we're living. What a great time to be alive. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up on this overly depressing note. Happy birthday to me. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. Thank you to my members, all 5 of you. You guys are awesome. Tavonda, you missed it, but I thanked you for being a member. Feel free to join the membership. Thank you for being here. Next Friday I'll be me too, Voodoo Child. The older I get, the more irritated I am. Next Friday I'll be live casting from Austin because my son is taking my daughter to a concert down there, so we're gonna spend the weekend together. See you then, guys.